Hey, what's up? My name is Kyle Wood, and I'm going to be giving you guys just a little quick art class today. I'm going to try to keep it under 30 minutes so it's not stretched out too far, it gets boring or anything. What I would like for you to do is grab some paper and some pen. It doesn't matter if it's a pencil or a pen or what kind of paper it is. Even if you have an iPad that you draw on, you can use that too. Anything you want to draw on, anything that you can mark, go ahead and use that. I'm going to be working on my home computer today so that you guys can see exactly everything that I'm talking about in real time and not at like a weird angle or anything. A little bit about myself. I've been drawing ever since I was a little kid, around 5 years old. I think is like my first sketchbook or so, and I've been working for about 11 years now as a tattooer. I've owned my own shop for about 7 years, and we're in Manette, Bremerton. It's called Woodwork Tattoo and Gallery. I started up in 2013 out in Paulsbo, and so yeah, I make my living drawing, and hopefully I have an opportunity here today to kind of pass on a little bit of fun that I like to do, and you guys can have some fun and work on your art too. All right, so first things first, I'm gonna start up this little screen recording so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Is it running? Is it recording? I think it is. Okay, so here we go. So the first thing that I do before I ever draw anything is I always take the time to do a little bit of a warm-up. So a warm-up is just scribbling is how I start the warm-up every time. I'm gonna go ahead and just have some fun and use some different colors and literally just scribble around like the first thing that comes to my head and not really pay too much attention to like trying to make it perfect or anything. I'll give this guy a tongue or something, I don't know. And maybe some big ears, chin. This is silly. All right, so I'm just going around and loosening up my fingers. I'm just scribbling and having fun, not really trying to make anything too realistic or concentrate on anything that's gonna get me frustrated because my hand isn't really working yet. You know, I'm just breaking it in. I'm just getting the kinks out, and we can start working on things that, you know, we really want to do later after that. I'm just having some more fun. Boop, boop. And so yeah, just go ahead and do this. Go ahead and take your pen or your pencil and your paper and just start scribbling around. If you got multiple colors to work with, go ahead and use them. You know, just don't take yourself too seriously in the beginning. You know, we're just having fun. Maybe I don't want the tongue. The tongue's kind of silly. And yeah, just scribbling around. And yeah, there's a little face guy. We'll get rid of that. I don't really like him. So I'm just gonna keep on scribbling and turning off my phone. Hold on, it's my wife. I have to answer that. All right. All right, so I didn't like that one, so I'm gonna start scribbling again. So what are you guys working on? What are you scribbling? Here, I'm gonna do like a little dog thing. Oh, it's important that you make sound effects when you're drawing. That's one of the most important things. If you don't make sound effects when you're drawing, then you're not having fun. So try again. This is a weird looking dog. It's like a mouse dog. I don't know. Too many dogs have ears like that. We'll figure it out. Yep, I'm gonna scribble that one away too. Oh, you don't need an eraser, just grab a new piece of paper, but I'm cheating over here. Draw some angry eyebrows and face. I've been watching anime a lot with my son, so maybe we'll get like a little, you know, a little avatar guy going. Nah, that doesn't really look like it now, does it? I don't know. All right, so after you scribbled around for a bit, the next thing that I like to do is work on straight lines, S-curve lines, and half moon shapes, and then like little dotted lines and stuff. So first I'm going to tell you what an S-curve is, because probably haven't heard that one before, but everybody knows what a straight line is, right? You just a straight line. So this is trying to make my hand stronger. So this is like working out. So after I've scribbled around and had some fun, the next thing I do is actually start practicing things that will make my hand stronger. And I just line up these lines one after another. Maybe try to go back and forth so that your hand can pull a straight line both ways. You know, maybe up and down. And I just keep on doing that for as long as I can before my hand gets tired, really. And then the next thing that I'll try and draw is what we call an S curve. So an S is obviously like that. So an S curve. See, that was a horrible S curve. This is why you got to do your warm-ups. So an S curve is like a long S. And you can do just a little bit of it, or you can make it really long like that. But what I like to do is just kind of have the same starting point and just make my S's like this. And this is really hard to do. So if you don't get it on the first try, don't worry about it. I've been doing this for almost 30 years and mine don't look that great right now either because my hand's not warmed up. I just got my morning coffee and it's gonna take a while. Usually we do warm-ups for about an hour before you actually start drawing what you're trying to draw, because if you try to draw the thing that you really want to get done as a professional and your hand isn't warmed up, it's not going to look very good. It's almost like, you know, like musicians or something, if they're trying to play a song and their hands aren't warm, it's going to be all off key and fumbling around. I'm sure if you guys had like band practice and stuff in school, you definitely did warm-ups and you practice your notes and you practice your instruments before you guys try to play a song. So it's the same thing with art. You gotta practice. You gotta do your warm-ups. A lot of people think that art is a talent, and it is true. Some people are naturally better at things than other people are. Like some people naturally can run faster than other people can, but if you just sit around and eat potato chips while other people are out running every day, you know, they're gonna get faster than you eventually. So you gotta work on it all the time. So if you think, oh, I can't draw because I'm not talented, you know, that's really not the case. You just have to practice. And one of the things that you practice are those lines. All right, so we did S curves for a while, and now we're gonna do like those moon shapes I talked about, which is basically like a half circle. Or you can do, you know, a full circle. And circles are really hard. It takes a lot of control of your wrist to do, you know, a perfect circle. And it's usually easier when you do it really fast, but you know, it's not looking good. It looks like I haven't practiced in a while, right? All right, so more warm-ups. We're doing these half circles. If you run out of room on your piece of paper, you know, just grab another piece of paper. And yeah, start doing these little half circles and stuff. And then I'll teach you how we're gonna use all of these lines later in the drawing. And I'm doing half circles just in different directions. Ooh, these are really jaggedy. All right. So I got all my half circle. Okay, so what do we got? We got straight lines. I'm gonna start a new page for you. All right, so we got straight lines, S curves, and half moon shapes. And then you can use like dotted lines, you know, something good to practice. Keep your dotted lines in, you know, in a good row or something like that. Is your final thing, or even, you know, dots, 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 dots. Something to get your wrist going. All right, so if you want to keep on doing that for a few more minutes and pause this thing before we get started on the fun stuff, go ahead. If not, I'm just gonna jump right into the next part. I figured I would teach you guys how to draw, I figured I would teach you guys how to draw a face today, because it's a really simple mathematical equation once you break it down. And once you know how to draw one face, you know how to draw all the faces. And so yeah, we're gonna break that down first and let's see what happens. So go ahead and grab a fresh piece of paper and a pencil or pen, whatever you got, like I said, and we're just gonna keep on drawing over the same stuff. All right, so I'm gonna cheat a little bit and use a circle just to kind of give you guys an example of how faces work. All right, so there's a circle and here's some straight lines. Just to show you guys the math behind a face. And we got, you know, the chin, right? Ooh. All right, I'm gonna place that. And then we got the chin. Try that on for size. All right, so we kind of chop off the corners of our circle, and then your little crosshairs need to be right in the middle of the face. So the more you draw and the more you practice this, you don't really have to do the circle and the straight line part, because that's going to be built into your head, right? But when you're starting out, you got to learn the math and learn the formula on how to make this done. Just like when you're learning math now, it's easy to do your math in the head once you practice it on paper a few times. Once you understand how to add, once you understand how to divide things and whatnot, you can start to do it in your head. But starting out, yeah, the teacher wants to see your steps so you know what you're doing and how it works, right? All right, so next step after we have our circle and our crosshairs, I usually like to start off with like an eyeball, because an eyeball will tell us where everything else, or what the measurements of everything else are. So let's take one of those like little half moon shapes. And then however long this is, from this line to this line, we're gonna take that on over. Here, I'm gonna see if I can figure out a way to explain this on here. Here, I'll do this with paper. I got a better idea. Okay, so the math works on building a face. You can pretty much use an eyeball to measure out the whole face. So if our eyeball is from here to here, we want that same distance over here. Or the space in between the eyeballs is going to be the space, the same size as the eyeball, excuse me. All right. And then the space to the tip of the nose is going to be the same distance as an eyeball is. So we're going to go in that center line. This same distance from here to here is going to go from here to here to the tip of the nose. All right, so this is the bottom of our nose. And then the bottom of the mouth is going to be that same distance from that line to that line. So there we go. So now we have a nose. Whoop. And we got the bottom of the mouth. All right. We'll go ahead and give this guy some eyebrows. All right, and see if we can delete this circle so it starts looking like a real face. All right. Now that we got eyes, nose, mouth, ears. Ears go from the eyebrow to the nose. All right, eyebrow to the nose, and it's usually 3 eyes down is the bottom of the chin, right? So we got 1, 2, 3, and then same thing up top, right? So you go 1, 2, 3, the top of the head, because the eyes are in the middle of the head. Some hair, all of that fun stuff. Corners of the mouth are usually to the middle of the pupils, right? So we go, take this line all the way down here, take this line all the way down here, and that's where our mouth is. All right. Doop 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 doop. All right. So this is like the basic math of what makes up a face. Now, if you're trying to figure out how to find the measurements of in between the eyes, a good way to do it is to either mark your pencil with your thumbnail or take another pen or take another marker and mark your pencil that way. So if I'm drawing a face, I got some drawings that I already did here. So if I'm drawing a face and I'm trying to figure out the math, I'll figure out from the corner of the eye to the end of the eye, and see I already marked this pencil right there. And then the other eye is that far away, matches up. And this is a way that you can check your work later too. You can make sure, like if the face looks funky and it looks off, you're like, oh no, what's wrong with it? Why does it look so weird? It's because, one of your measurements are probably a little off somewhere. So the same distance from there to there to there to there to there to there, you see the same math over and over again. 2, 3. All right, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, right? Okay. So that all might kind of seem complicated now, but once you start using that stuff later on, it's gonna get easier and easier and easier. So I'll just go ahead and start a new page here. All right, or here, we'll even use that same one. We're just gonna turn this down a little bit. All right, so you remember those lines that we used earlier, right? We had the straight line, the S-curve line, and the half moon shape, right? Or a full circle. So if we're drawing this face, we're going to use some of those lines, like say this is an S-shaped line. Ooh, it's kind of weird looking. Say this is a moon shape. Another kind of moon shape. Another S shape. And then we'll say this is like a straight line, a little half moon, a little straight line, half moon. Oh, by the way, the nose is from the inside of the eyeball to the inside of the eyeball. And that's where your nose comes from. All right. Eyebrows, turn that off. All right, we'll do another little S-shaped line here. A little kind of S-curve there. All right, we got a weird looking face. Kind of a straight line. Straight line. This is like a really manly looking chin, big lips. This is a weird looking face. Another S shape. Another S shape. Most ears kind of look. Ears are always tricky. I always gotta look at somebody's ears. It's like I forget what an ear looks like every single day of my life. I don't know what's up with that. You think I'd learn by some time, but I haven't figured it out yet. All right, here we are. There's a face. Okay, so now that you understand the basic formula and how it works, and your eyes are in the middle of your face, all that good stuff, little cross system. I'm not gonna put that pencil that close to my eye, but so if your eye is this big and your other eye should be that distance away, bottom of the nose, bottom of the lip, bottom of your chin. Yeah, that's right, my chin's all the way up there. and so on and so forth. So if everybody was mathematically correct, everyone would look exactly the same. And the truth is that no one is mathematically correct. Everybody is a little bit off. Everybody either has, eyes that are a little close together or a little farther apart, or maybe they're bigger, or their nose is bigger or smaller than the next person's, or wider or narrower than the other person's. What makes you an individual and what makes you look different than the person to the left and right of you is those tiny little measurements that are off from one person or the next. And same thing, if you look just like somebody else, it's because your measurements are really close together. And it all depends on, where you come from, what your parents look like and all that stuff. And people fluctuate, and it's what makes us all very interesting. What makes us unique is we all have different measurements to our face, just like we all have different fingerprints. It's pretty cool. So if you're just trying to draw out of your imagination, it's up to you how big you want the eyes to be, or how small the eyes you want to be, or any other body part, right? It's all up to you. But if you're trying to draw a picture that looks like your friend or your parents or your loved ones or whoever, or somebody you find on the internet, what's going to make it look just like them is that you get the measurements right. So if you're looking at a picture and you measure what their eyes distance are from each other, you just have to put that on the paper. You have to take your pencil and make sure that you have the same measurements. And that's how you copy. If you're copying a picture, it's a lot easier because you can put your pencil on the picture and actually measure it out. But if you're looking at somebody, you can kind of do the same thing, make sure you're looking at them the same way every time, and just kind of hold up your pencil and figure out how far things are away from each other. So, if your mom's really nice and willing to sit there for an hour while you measure her face, then try that. If not, then just try pictures. It's probably a little bit easier. All right. So now that we know how the math works and how everything works, we can start to mess with it. And I can give you an example with this guy too, without drawing a new picture. I'll just kind of show you what I'm talking about. So let's take the eyeballs. Let's say, where'd it go? All right, let's say the eyes are really big. We'll put them in the right spot. But they're still in the spot they need to be, they're just exaggerated, right? So now he's got really big eyes. I'll give him like a really small mouth. Maybe a really big nose. A really small nose. Kind of looks more like a cartoon character now, right? So this is all gonna change how the face works. So it's the same thing, you're just making some things bigger, some things smaller, and whatnot, right? Okay, we'll get rid of that one. Let's draw something fun. Okay, let's say you want to draw SpongeBob SquarePants. So SpongeBob is obviously, you know, a square. So we're going to draw a square first. And then his eyes are still just like a regular face. They're still in the center. So we'll draw, but he's got like big circle eyes, right? And then instead of a nose going down, he's got a weird nose kind of poking out up, and then some cheeks. Give him a smiley face. Give him his weird teeth. You know, maybe he's got that weird little thing going on. All right. This guy is, all right. This guy is weird looking. What does he got? 1, 2, 3 eyelashes. 1, 2, 3 eyelashes. Got some little dimple things everywhere. He's got his arms come out of here, right? And then he's got his square pants that aren't really square pants. They're more like rectangular pants. And it's a collar shirt, little tie, is a triangle, and what else we got here? The pants. Oop. Legs, skinny legs. All right, and some shoes. All right, here's your SpongeBob SquarePants, using the same rules that we use for a realistic face, right? We got to put everything in the right spot, and then you just have some fun with it. So we got like a bubble hand, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or it's a cartoon, so it probably only has 4 fingers. Bubble hand, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. SpongeBob SquarePants. Cool. I don't know what's going on with these shoes. The biggest part about all this is just, if it doesn't look good, trying to fix something is always a lot more work than just starting over. So you can frustrate yourself a lot and try to fix something, but just get a new piece of paper and try it again. You'll have a lot more fun that way. What else should we draw? So now that you know the basic rules of what makes a face and how to use the math, you can change it or exaggerate it any way you want. So if you want really long, squinty eyes and, you know, really tiny nose, you know, maybe a big mouth, tiny eyebrows. Like I said, sound effects, gotta use them. I'll give this guy some big cheeks, maybe a little double chin or something. And then we'll give him really curly hair. I guess that isn't really a curl noise. Curl, 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 curl. You know? And then go over here and maybe draw something a little different. Maybe, you know, different faces using the same kind of stuff. Just see what you come up with. You know, just experiment a little bit. If you want to draw a person or one of your friends, make sure to use the math, and you got to be exact and use that equation over and over. And if you want to draw out of your own imagination, you get to play around with it a little bit more. And the more you practice, the better you're going to get, and the closer that the more you practice, the better you're going to get, and whatever is in your head, you're going to start to see on your paper a lot easier and easier and easier the more you practice it. So just keep on practicing and have fun, and feel free to email me and send me some of your pictures so I can check them out. I'd love to see what you guys came up with today. It's woodworktattoo@gmail.com. And yeah, good luck. Have fun. Thanks for watching.